Well, I started coming to Union Park when I was a young child. My mother brought me and made sure that I grew up learning the things I should learn here at church. I got married here at the church, and then we moved to a couple different places, and then we had a divorce after about 13 years. That was the first real blow, and I didn't get mad at God, but I just didn't want to be in church anymore, and so I did other things, and for a while I strayed really far from God. Then I moved back to Des Moines, and during that time, my mother was relentless about getting me back to church. You gotta come back to church. So I gave in, and as soon as I got back to church, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4. It's very aggressive cancer. And the doctor said we would attack it with some aggressive chemo. I remember the first night that I was diagnosed, I got to bed and I could not close my eyes. I just couldn't close my eyes. And finally I just said, Lord, I can't deal with this on my own. I'm giving it back to you because I don't know what to do with this. This is cancer. I'm going to die. If ever I needed God, I needed Him now. The word went out to all over. I don't even know to this day how many people prayed for me. But I had chemo, and they told me it was gone. In 2000, it came back. And so we did some chemo, and it started to shrink, and the doctor told me I was eligible for a stem cell transplant at that point. And the next blow came when they told me I couldn't do it here in Des Moines. I had to go to Omaha. Well, that meant I had to leave all of my family, all of my church family, everybody that was a support system. And I found out that I think God had that was His plan, because He wanted to get me by myself. What would Joanne do without all the support, without the church family? I was leaning too much on them and not on God. And I learned to trust Him and rely on Him, and I did. I followed His word. I wanted to give Him, for the first time, I gave Him my whole life, everything in it, the cancer of my life. And this is 13 years later, and God's always there. He's always there. And maybe it takes a while to turn those troubles over to Him, but I know He's in my life, and I know He's watching over me, and He loves me so much that He gave His life for me. I have learned to count any trials that come, as the Bible says, count all trials with joy. And I consider them, well, what are you going to teach me this time, Lord? What have I got to learn now? And I decided that maybe I have a lot to learn because I keep having some of these trials. But it's a wonderful thing to know that God's using those to make me a better, stronger Christian and walk closer with Him.